Hey guys, I want to show you this new combo in PvP that is kind of, again, playing around execute, but it is a specific execute combo that's very obnoxious and very good. And I learned it from a guy called Tic Tac in my guild. Now, I'm going to call this the Tic Tac combo because that's who I've learned it from. I do have a link to his Twitch and his YouTube that I want you guys to check out. Tic Tac is a top 10 in the world, might even be higher than that now, Warcraft Rumble player. He's extremely good. And I know that he streams both Hearthstone and Rumble on his Twitch channel, and he's just a very, very good player. Also comes up with a lot of cool deck ideas and cool deck combos, which is where I learned this specific combo. So I'm going to call it the Tic Tac combo. I don't care if he didn't invent it. It's now called the Tic Tac combo. The combo is this. You need to have some specific talents on specific minis. Exhume on skeletons. So you get 5 skeletons out of Exhume. You can have anything on your Quillbore. And you really need to have Bloodthirsty on your Execute. And the combo is, you drop the Quillbore to turn the tower towards the Quillbore, you drop the skeletons behind the tower, and then you use Execute, hopefully across the tower and all of your minis. It's a 7 gold combo. It's expensive. It means you are committing 7 gold to one point on the map, which can be quite difficult to come back from if you don't get it right. So it's about timing this combo correctly. You're looking to use this when the enemy has committed a lot of gold somewhere. Either they've spawned like a big beefy minion, or you've just seen them drop a load of stuff at their base, whatever. This can be countered. You know, it just takes one blizzard, it takes one safe pilot, and things can kind of get a bit dodgy. So you need to time this combo really well. But when it works, you can take the tower in one go. Just one push on the tower, and it's done. So let's jump into some games. I'll show you some sort of commentary over games, and hopefully that will help you understand the combo a bit better. Right, so jump into the first game. This is versus a Maiev. I know that this player is pretty decent. I've played against him quite a few times. What I would say is that, you know, Maiev is an interesting matchup. It can be quite difficult because Maiev herself can counter this entire push in one go. So you kind of have to time this, knowing that, you know, when Maiev is on the field, or if you just don't think they have the gold to play it. Now, I've seen him commit 3 gold for Worgen, 3 gold for Safe Pilot, 2 gold for Griffin, 2 gold for Dark Iron Miner, 2 gold for Quillbore. I know he's going to be relatively low on gold at this point, so that's why I'm going for the combo. We slam everything down. We drop a full Safe Pilot backup as well, and you can see that he actually has the gold to support this. Now, one of the things that has gone wrong for me in this situation is that I haven't actually been contesting the central platforms, and he has been going to town on the central platforms. But one of the nice things is that you can kind of follow up with just another set of exhumed skeletons. Now, he drops a blizzard pretty much straight away, but he's committing a lot of resources to defending this side of the lane. And you can see here again, he goes Safe Pilot into Safe Pilot once again. Just kind of desperately trying to defend this. Now, we're still spawning skeletons whilst this is building, which is quite nice. So you just have to kind of remember that. We're going to go for the Exhume once more, because it's going to generate a load of skeletons that sort of builds us a very good defense of this platform. And now we have everyone pushing over towards the base. He's going to drop another Griffin Rider, but that shouldn't threaten this base by itself. It's very interesting that I haven't seen him use Maiev. Would have assumed that Maiev would have been a really, really good and solid pick to kind of defend this area, but hey, there we go, nonetheless. One of the things that is worth noting is that the more resource they commit to this side, the less they are using to deal with the ridiculous number of skeleton mages that you're going to be spawning and sending down towards their base. So one of the key win conditions of this deck is kind of, even if you're contesting that left-hand side tower, you're making it difficult for them, you're constantly proving to be a pain. Realistically, you can kind of win through chip damage from the skeleton mages. If they are committing that many resources to trying to retake the tower, or committing that many resources just to try and stop you from taking the tower, then you can actually just win through chip damage that I am doing with my skeleton mages. As you can see here, I'm just slowly pushing damage with those skeleton mages. It doesn't matter if I keep that left-hand side tower or not. That's really just there to provide a sort of an avenue of attack if I need it. And you can see here, like, I'm very happy to just be using that Bloodlust. And another thing you can do with the Execute is when you're going for the enemy base, you can use the Execute and try and catch one of your minis, like a Griffin Rider or a Safe Pilot in it, and you can Bloodlust them on the base, which is another good way of kind of chunking that base down and trying to get a win. So that's something else that you should be aware of when playing this deck. Now, you can see he has got Maiev going down the middle here. He has got quite a few units going towards my base, but I'm not particularly worried about it. I'm not going to commit that many resources to stopping them pushing because I don't really see that as a big damage threat, and I don't want to waste. He's trying to bait me to commit more resources than I need to defending my own base. But to be honest with you, my base is going to do fine. I'm not going to run into a problem here. So he's very good at safe piloting my safe pilot, but we're kind of going even. I'm actually going to use the execute just to proc Maiev there. I've also got Bloodlust on my Griffin Rider, which allowed my Griffin Rider to make some really excellent trades. We are now basically 1 or 2 shots away from winning, so we get that win pretty nicely, which is good. Yeah, pretty happy with that one. Okay, we're going to jump into the second game now. We're playing versus another Baron. This is going to be an interesting matchup because there's a whole variety of Baron decks out there right now. So something that I do, and something that you guys will notice, is that because we have Bristleback on Quillball, we're going to use that quite frequently to basically put pressure on enemy Dark Iron Miners. You generally run your Quillball into Dark Iron Miner with Bristleback because it is a direct counter. And now we've got like an absolute host of mages running towards the enemy base. So that's going to have to get dealt with, right? That's going to have to get dealt with. So you can see that I'm going to go for the combo, knowing that he's just full gone for a Blizzard. Now, I can see he's obviously dropped some stuff in retaliation over here. He's got a lot of gold that he's committing to defending this tower, and I don't really have much else now to kind of throw towards it. He's basically thrown the kitchen sink at this tower. He's on its own committed 9 gold. Have no idea where he got 9 gold from, but he did. But we're going to go for another bit of pressure with this Baron. Obviously, he's just dropped the Blizzard. This is before Blizzard got changed, obviously, because all of my minis got completely frozen. They actually shouldn't do that now. They should be able to attack. And he retakes the tower. However, it's not all doom and gloom. You can see that I've got a bit of damage down on his actual base. And to be honest with you, it's very likely that I'm actually gold positive on him right now. I probably have a slight gold edge, especially after I was able to mess up that safe pilot. Well done, Cairne. I used the Quill Ball to stop him going for the Dark Iron Miner. There's a lot to mine here in this central platform. He is going to try and immediately shut me down. I will Quill Ball, but I think, like, ultimately, that was a kind of a mediocre answer to Dark Iron Miner. I think he ends up getting my Dark Iron Miner down, which he does, but my normal Kobold comes to save the day. Now, you can see here that I'm actually going to drop my own skeletons. I do not want him to get a full host of gold from his Dark Iron Miner, so that's kind of what I've done in that situation. He actually, by the way, banshees my Baron. Now I do get 2 of the 3 gold here, which ultimately is a sort of a win for me. We're also going to then drop Quillball into Safe Pilot. Quillball into Safe Pilot is a relatively good option to deal with Baron. I completely trolled by dropping that Griffin Rider. Don't know why I did that. I think I must have assumed that he wasn't running Gnomish cloaking device and thought he was just running coming in hot like me, which meant that Griffin Rider would have been a bit more of an effective trade there. But nonetheless, we absolutely trolled, so that is our bad. But in the meantime, look at his HP bar of his base, right? So we've created all of this distraction around the side tower, around the gold mines, just being a nuisance, that he's actually not doing anything to deal with the mages coming towards my base, whereas I'm always spawning something to stop those mages kind of popping off. And I'm going to use coming in hot here to stop yet another gold, by the way, going off. You can see I'm going to have to drop the skeletons behind this safe pilot. The reason being is I don't want to let that safe pilot chunk my base, because I kind of need to just sort of have something to handle it. And it also means I'm going to get essentially a full scope mid push here with the or full scope mid mine here with the Dark Iron Miner. Now he uses Blizzard. Fine, I'm not that bothered about that. I am just going to then use my own coming in hot to kind of get an immediate response on the Griffin Rider. And we actually have the combo if we want it. He's committed a bit of resource over to the right-hand side. I've got a Baron coming in that way now as well. I have loads and loads of gold. I'm just going to go for it. The reason I'm going to go for it is it means he's less likely to try and push stuff onto my base. We're into overtime now. The more distracted I can keep this guy, the better. Somehow... Oh yeah, he banshees my my Baron, spawns his own Baron, but ultimately Baron isn't that much of an interesting unit to be concerned about. Like, we've got 30 seconds now. Baron is not going to threaten the base by himself. We're just going to keep spawning random stuff. And again, a little bit early on the execute here, but we're just going to use it to boost our skeletons once more around this side tower. He's going to be forced to use Blizzard, which isn't going on my base, by the way. And at this point, I'm like, okay, well, I'm obviously never getting this tower, so I'm just going to start threatening the base. I'm going to execute it. I'm going to try and make sure that it drops way lower than mine so that we win in overtime. And you can see that we didn't even really take the second tower there. We just kind of won through pressure. So this one's versus one of my guildmates, MJM. He's a very good player. He's also beaten Onyxia, so he's got deep breath, and that is something that's going to cause me massive pain this time round. Now, I unfortunately messed up here. I did not get my quill ball down quick enough, which meant that I was actually in a pretty rough spot in terms of denying gold. He commits a lot. Honestly, though, he does commit a lot of resource here. So what I end up doing is just kind of trying my best to respond. He does get another Dark Iron Miner down, which is just a little bit too quick for me, so I know that I'm very unlikely going to be able to contest this second gold mine, so not off to a great start in terms of gold mining, but Maiev is tough. Like, Maiev can put a lot of pressure on very early on, and you can actually have a look, similar kind of thing to last game. My skeleton mages are just doing a lot of work. The big mistake I actually make this game, and I think something that you're going to probably note is a mistake as well, is that there was no reason for me to actually go for the side tower here. With Maiev, she puts a lot of pressure on all the time. It's very difficult versus Maiev decks to kind of wrestle control of the game. So you really, this is like, I hear, instead of just using my safe pilot and execute to kind of defend, I go for the full combo where I've got nothing to defend my base with. This is a really terrible move from me. I thought I would, basically sometimes what I do is, I sometimes say, I'm gonna sacrifice base HP, because if I think that I'm going to take the side tower and then be able to kind of chip away more base damage through just gold advantage that I've got from map control, etc. But he shows you exactly kind of one of the biggest threats that you have versus Maiev. He drops probably a very cheap cost Maiev on the tower. He's already taken it back, and I've lost pretty much my entire base cost here. So there is not much of a comeback that can be made at this point. And that was really from my error. I should have actually just committed to the defense with the execute. He also then starts dropping Dragon's Breath, which means I know I'm screwed. And despite me attempting to defend, there isn't really much to be done at this point. He's going to be able to essentially, even if I do try and use execute on the side tower, he will be able to race me with Dragon's Breath, and I'll just end up losing through Dragon's Breath spam. So there isn't really much I can do at this point. But you can see the massive mistake that sometimes it's the best option is to actually not go for the side tower, and actually just use execute, rotate on the base, or just try to win through pressure through your mages. And I messed up there. There was no real reason for me to go for the side tower, and I kind of let a huge amount of damage go through on my base, just in the hopes that he didn't have a response and I could then start to kind of maintain map control. Couldn't do it. Okay, next we're playing into a Cairne. Now, you do sometimes see Cairns at the top level. I will tell you that the majority of decks you're going to see at the top flight of play are going to be Maiev and Baron. You might see some old Murkai, you might see some Jaina, but it's going to be Maiev, Baron, Maiev, Baron, Maiev, Baron pretty much most of the time. Cairne, old Murkai, Jaina generally tend to be below that, and sometimes you see Dracosath, because Dracosath kind of is in an okay spot right now. So as you can see here, just a kind of a standard start opener, but he is running a Sappers combo, which is interesting. I was not expecting that. You don't see a huge amount of Sappers, or not even I don't even know if he's running a combo. He's running Sappers, and I was not 100% expecting that, because you don't often see too many Sappers. But because there is a Sappers, it does mean that I now have this opportunity to go for the tower, because I know that if I take the tower, I basically have a win condition absolutely sorted for me. And you can see he's going to use Blizzard and Troll Headhunter to try and clean this up, but I actually have a really nicely timed safe pilot, which takes the tower for me. Off the back of that, it kills the Murlocs as well. So we are now basically, I mean, you really do want to try and defend this tower as much as you can. I use the quill board just to kind of direct safe pilot's attacks away from me, and now I'm going to back them up with Baron. So we have so many minis in the way of this tower now that he's not going to take it back, and that is a one push combo done. And essentially he's doomed at this point. He can't get Sappers from the side tower to my base. I think he's basically recognized that it's over at this point, and we end up winning the game very quickly. Boom, there you go. That was a really quick one. We shall jump on to, I think, the final game of my five games or so. And it's versus a Jaina. So, opener, we just really have the Dark Iron Miner. I'm going to drop the Quill Bore just a little bit later, but he will respond actually really nicely here
Something, a little trick that you can do, you might have seen him just do it right there, is that you can actually just drop things that have a longer range on the left-hand side of your tower, and they'll often be able to reach the they'll be able to reach the tower range. Now, he's done something here. I wish I could pause. He's done something here that is really odd. You might have just seen him blizzard in the bottom side of the map. There is no point doing that if you're not catching another mini in the blizzard. The blizzard is there to get value in addition to the mini that you're capturing in the blizzard. You kind of want to take out a mini that spawns at base whilst also damaging the base. Using blizzard on the base by itself is basically a waste of 4 gold. If you want to do that, run execute. That's my advice. Right. He also drops a safe pilot onto my gold mine, which doesn't really make any sense to me. So I've kind of seen him commit a lot of gold. Now we've seen the blizzard, we've seen the safe pilot. It's probably not going to be a good AoE response, which is why I go for this tower push. Now, obviously, we have Huntress here, so he is going to drop the Huntress. Once the Huntress starts attacking the base, I'm just going to drop safe pilot on her head, which should then deal with it quite nicely. As you can see here, we will then try to follow up by getting a Griffin Rider near the Quillbore, but the Quillbore is now heading over towards the base. I don't know why I dropped Dark Iron Miner. Wasn't really anything that I was going to be able to do with that. So I'm going to go and try and kill the Quillbore here. We do also have a Baron that we're going to send down the right-hand side. It's a slow progress with the Jaina just killing the tower. So I'm going to use the safe pilot when it's available just to take Jaina out. You can see here as well that we've got the Huntress that has just respawned. Now, as soon as Huntress starts attacking, we're going to use the... I don't know why did the Huntress turn around there? I'm not entirely sure why the Huntress turned around there, but we've kept the HP of the tower relatively low, but it's not gone down. In the meantime, though, have a look at the base HP. He's committed so many resources to defending that tower that the base is now like 1/3 HP. We can actually change our strategy here. We're actually not even going to bother trying to go for this tower now. We've already done the damage that we need to in terms of damage being dealt to the base. We can now start to use execute to go for the win. So this is another kind of one of those really important learning moments with this game where you need to kind of say, okay, I can now recognize an alternative win condition. As I say that, I just go for the tower. Well, sometimes you see them commit a load of gold and you go for the tower anyway. He's going to use Blizzard straight away just to stop that happening. I think that was honestly a bit of an error from me. I think having now played this deck more, what I would have done in that situation was that, yeah, he's just, I don't know why he does that, why he safe pilots my 1-cost kobold, but he is going to get quite a bit of damage down on base here, so I suppose that's something that's worked out really positively for him. Yeah, what I actually would have done in this scenario is said, okay, like that tower actually doesn't really matter anymore. What I'm going to do is focus on essentially getting chip damage into the base. I've been very obsessed here with going for the tower for no real reason. I guess the other way that you could look at it is that even if I'm sort of focusing on the tower for the time being, I am just getting like lots of chip damage into the base on the right hand side. So if that strategy's been working for me the whole game, then why don't I go for it? But if I'm quite frank with you, I'm now starting to execute the base. If I'd done that earlier, I probably would have won earlier. So there you go. There's a lesson for you from this particular video. If you get the tower, they commit a load of resources to take it back, but you've already kind of chipped away damage with your Baron to about a half or a third HP with your skeleton mages. Go for the win with execute. Don't try and take the side tower over and over again. But there we go. It's good to actually learn from my own mistakes and look back at my own gameplay. I hope it helps you guys as well. Cheers.